So you're excited? You're excited about going to the other place?
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be more.
Well, it's definitely. I haven't been inside yet, but it's definitely a better location in terms of parking. And I've always looked at that, because I lived in town for years before we moved to our house. And I've always walked, you walk in the path, I always thought that a yoga studio would be great there. Always, I was like, I was always dreaming of where the yoga studios, where we want. I'm gonna be there, and wherever we like. Yeah, so I'm really excited for it. It'll be a good.
And it's more,
Yeah.
Classes to be.
It's like.
Hope if you're the neighbors, you there.
Maybe. Yeah, because it does get loud, especially on weekends.
I was here one class where someone was cursing like crazy. It was you were giving it. It was like you're playing Silent Night. It was at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, what can you do, especially in Shavasana?
Right.
During classes, I would talk about it, I would address it. No, I would be like, oh, these are the things that are outside of the control, that's what we would practice, But in Shavasana, you can't say anything, so you're just kind of like, start sweating. Oh, yeah. Let's see, grab our so we'll get started. So welcome everyone to our Thursday afternoon gentle yoga practice. So I was just talking to my mom on my drive here, filling her in on my in-laws just moved in with us 2 weeks ago. And we've been preparing for it for a year, doing construction on our house. And my father-in-law is in the late stage Parkinsonian syndrome. So it's very similar degenerative disease, similar to Parkinson's, but not quite. And so my mom was just asking how he's doing, and I could talk freely in my car, so we're catching up. And really, it's just the situation is reminding me so much of the importance of being present in the moment, because I've been anticipating what this big change was going to be like for so long, and trying not to get attached to the projection, right? And it's going a lot smoother than I kind of thought. And so now I'm trying not to get attached to that, because as his disease, we don't know when he's going to start hospice, or we don't know what the situation is. And so it's just a real reminder to me to just the art of being present in the moment, and how easily it is for us to get comfortable and attached to the way that things are, and how sometimes that gets us into trouble, right? So we're going to play with that a little bit today on our mat, just this art of presence. So take a nice comfortable seat. You can look up when you're sitting on, sit up on some props, nice and tall, and close your eyes. And take a moment and allow yourself to land here in this space today for your practice. Knowing that we all have beautifully complicated lives. And that when we carve out this time for ourselves to devote to our yoga practice, it's an opportunity for us to set down all of the things that we may be carrying, the good and the bad, the challenging and the simple, and to practice this art of being very present in this moment, to what shows up in our bodies, in our breath, in our minds, and in our hearts. Draw your awareness to your physical body and allow your sitting bones, your hips, thighs, the entire lower half of your body to get heavy and wide. And then as you breathe in, lengthen your spine, let the crown of your head rise up towards the sky. Float the heads of your arm bones, your shoulders up, back and down. You could glide your hands back on your thighs until your elbows hang just underneath your shoulders. And then see if very subtly you could lean back or bring more breath and awareness to the back body. This part of ourselves that connects us to something bigger than ourselves, to something greater, whatever that means to you. Maybe you could even drop your awareness back and down. Feel your breath in your body. You allow the breath to draw down into your belly. Feeling the rise and fall of the belly with each inhale, exhale. And here, you can continue to focus on the breath and see if you could hold space for whatever is present for you at this particular moment in time. Physical sensations, aches, pains, the current state of your nervous system, whether it feels calm or dysregulated. Anything that may be coming up in your thoughts or any emotions that may rise to the surface. Could you simply allow everything to be as it is, without judgment of it being good or bad, without wanting it to be different or avoiding it, without attachment, knowing that it will change again and again and again. Then please bring your hands together in front of your heart. I invite you to set an intention for your practice today. It could simply be to stay present. Maybe it's allowing or receiving. There's no right or wrong way to set an intention, and it's personal to you. We'll begin our class and seal in our intentions with 3 cleansing breaths. Please take a deep breath in. Let it go with a sigh. 2 more like that. And then gently bow your head to your heart. Slowly open your eyes, release your hands. Let's go ahead and lay down on our backs. You can move your props off to the side. And as you come to lay down, stretch out. And take a full body stretch. See what it feels like to have your body on the ground. Stretch your right toes and right fingertips a little further away from each other. Getting longer through your right side body. And then the same thing with your left fingers and toes, reach. And release. Take a breath in, reaching both arms overhead, and as you exhale, hook your right knee into your chest. Pause here, see that you're drawing the knee in line with the right side of your neck. So you just want to make sure that the knee is not dipping towards the armpit or the shoulder. Take a few breaths like this. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh and extend your leg up towards the sky. Press your thigh into your hands. Use your hands to isometrically draw the leg back in towards the body. You press up through your heel and then point and flex your foot. Any movements of the foot or ankle that feel good, little circles. Take your shoulders back and down. Hug your knee back into your chest. Take the right knee in the left hand, bring your right arm out to the side in cactus. Take an inhale here, and as you exhale, twist, guide your knee across your body over to the left. You can roll onto the outer left hip, pinky toe edge of the left foot can come down to the ground. Gaze out over your right shoulder. And if your right shoulder pops up, that's fine. Just take your right hand to your right rib cage. Couple of breaths like this. Inhale, come back through center, drawing your right knee in one more time. And then release, extend your right leg long to meet your left. Pause here, notice the difference between each side of the body. Then inhale, reach your arms overhead. Exhale, hug your left knee into your chest. Same thing here, noting the alignment of your knee, of your leg, where it's drawing in towards your body. Notice when and if your mind starts to wander, and see if you could bring it back to the present moment. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh. So not behind the knee, you'll slide your hands down to the belly of your hamstring muscles, and then extend the left leg up. Same thing here, see what it feels like to point, to flex, maybe circle. Noting that the side may be very different. Plug your left knee back into your chest. Take your knee in your right hand, left arm out to the side. Deep breath in, exhale to find your twist. few more breaths here. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, release, extend your left leg long to meet your right. Feel your body on the ground one more time. And then please hug both knees into your chest. You could take a brief moment to massage your low back before we transition from the supine position. And then go ahead, roll to your right side, make your way up to tabletop. In tabletop, tuck your toes, have your knees just under your hips, maybe slightly behind, wrists are under your shoulders, index fingers point straight ahead. Take a moment to engage your low belly. Notice the tilt of your pelvis and see if you could find a good neutral here. And then once you have that, from there, deepen the connection to your breath and move through a few rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, sitting bones lift, soften the belly, arch your back. As you exhale, round, tailbone lengthens, pull your ribs in, chin to your chest. It's moving with your breath at your pace. Inhale, come to a neutral spine. From here, we'll move into puppy. So nothing changes in the lower half of the body. Hips stay over the knees. Just walk your hands forward into downward facing dog shape. If this is really intense, which it can be, it seems like it shouldn't be, but it's supposed to be very challenging. And if that's the case, you could use a block under your forehead for a little support. Couple of breaths. Go ahead and walk your hands back into table. We'll move into a Vajrasana variation. You'll pivot your right foot off of your mat. Extend your left leg long, with the sole of the foot to the ground. Wrist right under your shoulder, eye of the elbow rotates forward, and then inhale, reach your left arm. More breaths like this. Exhale, release. And we'll move to the second side. Left foot pivots off of your mat, extend the right leg out. Ground into your right foot. Your left hand, rotate the eye of the elbow forward, and then when you're ready, right arm. Exhale, release. And find child's pose. Knees wide, big toes together, send your hips back towards your heels, send the arms up. And see if with every exhale, you could melt your heart a little closer to the earth. So I've been paying close attention to my kids with this transition, obviously, and they've done surprisingly well with it. Granted, we've been talking about it for a really long time. 5 and 2. But my oldest has always had a harder time regulating her nervous system. And it took a little bit for it to click with me. I was like, oh, that's what's going on. She was having a harder time sleeping, falling asleep. So it's just so interesting when we watch kids because she's processing it well mentally and behaviorally and emotionally, and like it's still transitions, still shows up. And we don't lose that as we age. Sometimes even when we think we've got things under wraps, our nervous system shows the truth. From here, inhale, come back up to table. We're gonna move through a little flow here, where we'll come from, it's gonna go table to cobra. We'll lower down. Up. And then slowly back to child's pose. We're gonna do that 3 times. Inhale, come up to table. Exhale, lower down. Inhale to cobra. Exhale to child's, couple of breaths there. And then you'll move that flow one more time on the phone. And take a few breaths in child whenever you arrive there. And so that's something that yoga has always been such a good mirror for me when I show up on my mat and start to become present, breathe, and hold space for myself. It's like, oh, okay. My nervous system is dysregulated. There's anxiety, there's some grief, there's anger, whatever it might be. These things that kind of how we process energy in the world below the surface. We get a glimpse into. Come on up into down dog. And here you can pedal out through your legs, bending the knees, sending the opposite heel towards the ground. You shake out your head a little. On your next inhale, walk your feet forward to meet your hands. And the exhale as you fold down over your legs, knees can stay bent. Keep the spine long and neutral. Then press down into your feet. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, bow forward and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway. And exhale, we'll take a big step back with the left leg, and you may want to have a blanket so that you could have your back knee. The back knee will come down. And maybe here, blocks. Bringing your front foot could be nice. So we're in this low lunge, back knee down, the pelvis can move down and forward, but the right hip keeps drawing back. You could get your foot even a little more forward, so your front foot. Just take a few breaths like this. And then maybe the arms come up. This may be too much. Check in and see. And you could stay just like this, or you take a breath in and lengthen, and then exhale, and maybe you twist over to the right. Inhale, unwind, reach the arms up. Exhale, release your hands down. Lift your back knee, step your back foot forward, and fold. Inhale, lengthen halfway to a flat back. Exhale, bow in and do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. One more. And then take a big step back with your right. And bring the right knee down. Maybe use some blocks to bring your front foot. Check in with this side. See what's happening. Check in with your breath. Hug the legs in towards midline and perhaps the arms come up. You could stay just like this, or inhale. Exhale, twist, open up the arms. Doesn't have to be a big twist. Inhale, unwind, arms reach. Exhale, release. Place your hands, this time downward facing dog. You can stay here in down dog or move through a vinyasa. Moving through vinyasa, you can inhale forward to a high plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale into cobra dog. Exhale down to face dog. Come down to all fours. Table once again, and then move through a couple of rounds of cat-cow. Inhale to a neutral spine, draw the low belly in, keep the lower half of your body where it is, and walk your hands forward, coming back into puppy. Hug your forearms into the midline. Couple of breaths. Walk your hands back in just slightly so that you could find child's pose once again. Make your way back into down dog. Right leg lifts as you inhale. Lunge it forward as you exhale. Reach your foot all the way up until your right knee stacks over your right ankle. Pivot your back heel down to the ground, find heel to arch alignment. Bring your right forearm up onto your right thigh, left hand to your hip. Setting up for Prasarasana, extended side angle. So you'll use your forearm to help guide your right knee towards your second toe. See that your torso faces the wall in front of you. So the left ribs wrap back, right ribs wrap forward. And then take your left arm out in line with your ear, palm faces down. Press from your pinky toe edge of your back foot all the way up out through your fingertips. Couple of breaths here. Bring your left hand down to your left hip. We're going to move into Trikonasana, triangle pose. So I suggest using a block here. You can take a block in your right hand, place it to the outer edge of your right shin. And then go ahead and straighten your right leg. Reach the left arm up to the sky. And the block could even be higher to give you a little bit more space. So can you straighten your right leg? Moves towards straight. It's a more challenging way to come into this pose, so it may feel a little different. Changes up our expectation of the pose, right? Exhale, release, bend your right knee, cartwheel your arms down, pivot your back heel up, make your way into down dog. 3 options here. You can stay and hang out in down dog. You can find child's pose, connect to your breath. You can move through a vinyasa. Everyone needs something a little bit different for their practice. From downward facing dog, left leg lifts as you inhale, lunge it forward as you exhale. Pivot your back heel down. Find heel to arch alignment. Your front heel dissects the arch of the back foot. Bring your left forearm to your thigh, right hand to your hip. So your right ribs wrap back, left ribs wrap forward. Your heart starts to rise up towards the sky, perhaps. And then extend your right arm out in line with your ear. Use your left forearm to track the knee open. Breathe. We'll move into triangle pose. So your right hand can come down to your hip and place your block. So it helps with the block kind of right at the midpoint of the shin, between the ankle and the knee. You can always kind of walk the block back a little bit. If it's too far forward, it's going to be really difficult to straighten out your leg. So give yourself more space. Left kneecap lifts. And then maybe right arm to the sky. Couple more breaths here. Put a little bend into your left knee. Exhale, arms come down to the ground. Pivot your back heel up. Make your way back into down dog. Optional final vinyasa here. And then we'll meet child's pose. Inhale, lock your hands in. And we'll come to sit. And this is a good place to hydrate. Then we'll come into Baddha. So fold the feet together in five. Move the flesh away from your sitting bones. Press the soles of the feet into each other. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Take your shoulder blades onto the back of the heart. So sternum lifts, collarbones broaden. Keep the front body nice and open. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips till you find your edge. And then you could take on a couple of breaths like this, with the spine really long and neutral. And then you could decide if you want to stay like this, which is a more yang version of this pose. Or if you want to make it more yin, you could round your back, let your head hang. In yoga, in each pose, there's an opportunity for us to check in and see how much effort we're putting in, how much ease we're experiencing, and wherein lies the balance. And the metric is always changing, depending on our bodies, depending on our nervous system, depending on our level of energy. Every pose, there's a what do we need? We need more engagement, more muscular energy, more strength. Or do we need more letting go to work less? We give ourselves permission to simply release the tension and be. Take a couple of deep connected breaths here. And as you do, see if you could relax your tongue in your mouth, moving it away from the roof of the mouth or the back of the teeth. See if you could release your jaw. Notice if you're furrowing your brow. Check in and see where you might be gripping. Where you could soften just for another breath or two. Inhale to rise. Bring your knees back up to center. Go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Draw your right foot in. Draw the Shirsasana. Head to knee pose. So your foot can come to your inner thigh. Your left kneecap, left toes face up towards the sky. Bring your hands to frame your front leg. And then there's a little twist that happens. Your left side body draws back, navel comes more in line with your front leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, walk your hands forward as a fold. You could keep your hands on the ground. You could bring your hands to your shin or to your foot, any part of your leg. We want to focus on every inhale, lengthen the side bodies, get a little longer through the spine. Every exhale, maybe there's a hinging forward. Whatever yoga pose, there's a pulsation, a spanda that happens with our breath. Inhale, we fill, maybe you come out of the pose just slightly, we exhale, and release. Rise. We'll go ahead and switch sides. Stand your right leg long. The sole of your left foot to your inner thigh. Bring your hands to frame your front leg. Find that little twist that happens. So right ribs move back, left ribs wrap forward. Inhale, get nice and tall. Exhale, fold. These longer forward folds can be a real opportunity for the mind to wander. If that happens, see if you could lovingly guide your awareness back to the present moment and to your breath. Inhale to rise. Exhale, make your way onto your back. Yep, exactly. Hug your knees into your chest. Feel a little massage and release back. Then bring the soles of your feet to the ground. Toe heel your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock onto each other. And then you can play with the distance between your feet and your seat. So you can walk your feet in a little closer to your body in constructive rest, or a little further away, and see what feels good. And the goal here is for the legs to support one another so that you don't have to do the work. And when we do that, we can begin to release the psoas muscle. The psoas muscle is really deep. It attaches from the front of the spine into the pelvis. It's what allows us to be upright and walking, and it holds on to all of our anxieties, fears, and gets really tight when just from the way that we process the world.
But I always say, oh, my hips are so tight, or my hips hurt.
It could be tight psoas. Everything's connected. And the hips, which we'll get into after this, are where, especially as women, we tend to store a lot of old emotions and can really become kind of like the junk drawer of the body. But we're constantly taking in the world and our experiences, and energetically, we have the whole chakra system that processes the energy of the world and our emotions and our thoughts. They're like these little recorders. And so even, this is why in yoga, sometimes we have this stuff come up that is old, right? The energy that never fully made it through the body, that we didn't fully process in the moment. Emotions or energy and motion, that sometimes they get stuck and held. And the beauty of yoga is that it allows things to open and kind of come loose, dislodge, flow a little more freely. So from here, we'll inhale the knees back to center, toe heel feet to parallel. And then we'll come into reclined pigeon. So cross your left ankle over the top of your right thigh. And so the knee does track away from the body, but it comes from where the femur inserts into the hip. So you're gonna bring your awareness down to your left hip crease and see if you could open the thigh away from the body there. And then you can decide if you want to stay like this or pick up your left foot and interlace your hands behind, I'm sorry, your right foot. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh. Or even on top of that shin. Take your shoulders back and down. And then see what you find in this hip today, whether it's really tight or a little more open. And where we're holding our tension. Where things have become a little stuck. Or a lot stuck. Also notice here the weight distribution on your sacrum and low back, and see if you can level that out. Sometimes there's a tendency to kind of dip the weight over to the left. And by leveling that out, you can really access the muscles of the hip in a different way. Check back in with your tongue and your jaw. Relax the skin on your face. Go ahead and switch sides. Release your right foot back down to the earth and then bring your left to meet it. Cross your right ankle over the top of your left thigh. Same thing here, open up the hip from the hip crease, the hip socket. And then decide where you want to be on this side. Maybe a very different experience of your body. There's a tendency when we're getting deep into the tender realm of the hips to round the shoulders, to close off the heart center, because it's just all so much, right? So can we keep the collarbones broad, the shoulder blades on the back of the heart here? Knowing that we're safe to be open and vulnerable on our mat. So let these tender parts of our body be a little more exposed. Softer. Go ahead and release, bring both feet back down to the ground. Feet are parallel, sitting bone or hip distance apart. Take your arms out to cactus or to T. Take a deep breath in here, and as you exhale, drop your knees over to the right. Keep your gaze out over your left shoulder. Inhale back through center, exhale, knees to the left, look out over the right shoulder. Inhale back to center, hug your knees into your chest, and then find happy baby. Take your knees wide, soles of the feet up towards the sky. You can grab onto your shins, your ankles, the pinky toe edges of your feet. You could keep this still and static, or you could rock side to side, whatever feels best in your body. Whenever this pose feels complete for you, you can make your way into Shavasana. If there's any other stretch that your body needs in order to get comfortable before Shavasana, please feel free to take it. And when you're ready, you can let your feet gently open to the sides. Bring your arms down by your sides, palms up. Yeah, no rush. You can use props here. You can add layers to get warm. And then once you are in a comfortable position that you can commit to take your final relaxation. Take a deep breath in. Let it go with a sigh. Let your body get really heavy on the ground. Give yourself permission here to rest. Let go of anything that happened before this moment. Anything that's yet to come. Please surrender to Shavasana. Draw awareness back into your body. To wiggle your fingers. Toes. Start to move and stretch in any way that's best for your body. When you're ready, with your knees into your chest. Roll to your right side, take a moment to pause. And then in your own time, make your way back up to find a comfortable seat. Once you arrive, close your eyes. Draw your hands together and feel your heart once more. Take a moment to honor yourself for your practice, for this art of being present. And call back your intention that you set at the beginning of class. Please feel free to modify or change it in any way so that you carry your intention back out into the world. We'll end our class and seal in our intentions with a final cleansing breath. Please take a deep breath in and let it go. Gently bow your head to your heart. The light within me recognizes and honors this very same light in each one of you. Namaste. Thank you all so much for your practice. Yeah. Next week, I actually won't be here because my husband's away for work, and so I'll be home with my kids, my in-laws. And Leah is going to sub for me, so there's still will be class, and then I'll be back the following week with no other absences in sight. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Debbie.
Thanks, Erin.
Have a great night.
Thanks, you too.